Hello and welcome back to another vintage inspired video. Our history seeking has brought us today to Denison, Iowa. Population 8,114, and we're in search of Donna Reed. Hers was a story of local girl makes good, and her rise in Hollywood could have been the plot to an MGM film, which coincidentally MGM is where she signed her first movie contract. Small town Iowa girl comes out to Hollywood to be in pictures. But actually, in reality, she came out to live with her aunt, go to college, and become a teacher. She got voted campus queen, ended up on a float in the Rose Parade, capturing the attention of studio executives who offered her multiple screen tests. She eventually signed with MGM in 1941 at the age of 20, but only after finishing her studies. Denison and Donna Reed are inextricably intertwined. They have really embraced her and her legacy, working to preserve and honor it. And Donna, for her part, loved this city. She would come back and visit. She even donated her Oscar to it so others can come and enjoy it. For today's video, we're gonna walk in the footsteps of Donna Reed, take in this quaint city that she loved, and we're gonna get a special peek at that Oscar that she won for the film From Here to Eternity. So let's go. We know her today as Donna Reed, but to the people who knew her first in Denison, she was Donnabelle Mullenger, the oldest of 5 children, and at her core, she was forever an Iowa farm girl. The population of Denison has about doubled since she left here on the train for the opportunities of LA in 1938 at the age of 17. In 2 years and 7 months after leaving the farm, she signed her first contract with MGM, which at the time was basically the Rolls-Royce of studios. And speaking of that train station, it was the Chicago and Northwestern Railway passenger depot she departed from. She was proud to be from Denison, and she made it a point to come back here yearly. Here we have the Donna Reed Performing Arts Center, also a museum to her inside, and we were supposed to be able to go inside today, but as you can see, there's caution tape, cones out here. Looks like there's been some damage that has occurred to the building, which rendered it unsafe for us to go inside. I knew this before I did the 3-hour drive from Clear Lake because I still wanted to come and check out the town, see her Oscar. I may come back. Mary Owen, the daughter of Donna Reed, has reached out to me. She said if I was able to come back, maybe I'd be able to see the basement archived, and that her mother saved a ton of things. This is the same theater she visited when growing up, then called the Ritz Theater. It's where she paid a dime to see the likes of James Cagney and Bette Davis up on the screen. On the corner where the now bake shop, the Hollywood Cafe, is, there used to be a place called the Candy Kitchen, which had a direct entrance into the theater and where Donna could be seen enjoying a soda with one of her many admirers. The Donna Reed Foundation came about soon after her death, and it offers, to this day, scholarships to young people involved with the performing arts, which, as someone who went to acting school herself, really loves. And right out here, they have a replica of her star that is in Los Angeles on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Not one of the houses Donna herself grew up in, but I just wanted to show a few of them because I thought they were quite charming. I want to show you a little bit of the Main Street area just to give you a sense of where Donna herself grew up and where she could have been seen walking the streets. And as you could see with this sign right here, they really lean into her legacy, especially It's a Wonderful Life. It is pretty quiet out here. This is where she grew up. It was a 129-acre farm. Her dad planted the trees, she milked the cows, gathered eggs, collected corn cobs, pitched hay, fed the livestock, and even operated the windmill that pumped water from a well to a cistern by the house. Inside the house, she had more chores. She helped her mother prepare meals and canned tomatoes and peaches, all in a kitchen without any modern facilities. And to think all of that life and memories occurred right here on this land that today, if you didn't know, you would never guess. She never romanticized growing up on the farm, saying later, it may have been good training for life, but we had rough times. And some of those rough times were during the Depression. When that started, the price of crops and meat plummeted. Then a drought came in that lasted almost a decade, wreaking havoc on the crops. Donna recalled later in life that she was in anguish over watching her parents rise early and retire late, only to see no returns. In a letter to her pen pal Violet, whom she corresponded with from the age of 13 and continued over the next 48 years, she drew a very accurate map of the farm. And you can see she drew the schoolhouse right up there. It was just a quarter mile away, and one teacher taught 8 different grades in one room there. When it came time for high school, she boarded with her grandmother, who lived near the school. And I wanted to go and see that school, but like many of the things we talk about on this channel, it's been torn down. She entertained thoughts of being a performer while in high school. She had first thought maybe she would try being on the radio. She performed in high school productions and participated in various beauty contests, and was crowned runner-up in the Miss Denison pageant, a foreshadowing for what ended up being her big break in LA. Funds for her to go to college were short. Her Aunt Mildred offered for her to come live with her in Los Angeles in order to be able to pay for school, which as a resident of California, it was $5 a semester to attend LA City College. So she went and studied shorthand typing as well as drama. While attending school, she also held down multiple jobs at once and worked for her room and board by cleaning the homes in which she lived. Fate stepped in December of 1940 when a dance was held at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, and that still stands today. There she was elected campus queen, and a photographer for the Los Angeles Times was present, and the next day her photo was splashed on the front page. You know how I also mentioned that her photo appeared in the newspaper after she was on a float in the Rose Parade? I've heard both things, that it was the Rose Parade photographs or it was the Biltmore Hotel campus queen photographs that caught the attention of Hollywood. Either way, within 24 hours after Donna's photo was published, 2 to 3 movie studios and 4 agents called. Paramount offered a screen test and Columbia wanted her to come by, and she did what most aspiring starlets would not do. She told them no. She wanted to complete her secretarial courses before considering offers, saying, I might not be any good in the movies, and then what will I do? When school was over in 1941, Donna got in touch with an agent who then brought her to the glitziest Hollywood studio of the day, MGM. She signed a multi-year contract with MGM in April of 1941 at the age of 20. Her first credited movie was also in 1941, titled The Getaway.
It's a new way of fixing your hair, too, isn't it? Come on, sit down.
In a letter to her pen pal, she wrote, it was such a thrill to meet Clark Gable on the MGM lot, and Mickey Rooney asked her out on a date, but she was too busy. When they changed her name, and one iteration was Donna Adams before landing on Donna Reed, no one consulted her or even bothered to phone her. She learned about it in the trade papers, and she was not happy and never cared for the name, saying, I hear Donna Reed and I think of a tall, cool, austere blonde who's not me. During this early time of her career, she was cast in back-to-back films. She told her friend in letters she worked like a fiend all during the week and on Friday and Saturday nights would tear loose. With her first paycheck, she bought her mother a silk dress, her father a suit, and herself a white coat.
Bread, that this house may never know hunger.
What is a Donna Reed video without mentioning It's a Wonderful Life? Today, we know that film as a Christmas-time tradition, but when it came out, it wasn't very enthusiastically received. It sort of came, fizzled, and went for various reasons, one being the timing at which it came out and not being what audiences wanted. For Donna's part, she was very excited to get the role. In a letter to her pen pal, she said of the film, "This will be my big break, I think." Later in her life, she said, she supposed she knew on some deeper level she'd never have an experience on another film to equal it. She said Capra was the most demanding and satisfying director she had ever worked with. He was just different than what she was used to at MGM, which had a very regimented way of doing things. On set, she said she had her nerves and noted that Capra and Stewart, for their part, didn't do much to assuage her. Maybe in part because the two had their own worries, with this being their first film in years post their World War II service. In 1982, when speaking at Frank Capra's AFI Life Achievement Award ceremony, she said she never dreamed people would be watching this film every Christmas Eve. We have what amounts to a clerical error to thank for that phenomenon that occurred 23 years after the film debuted. Stick with me here, but a little backstory. When Capra's production company, Liberty Films, went under, he lost the rights to the film, which were turned over to Paramount Pictures, which had since absorbed RKO, the studio that released It's a Wonderful Life. They received them as a way to repay distribution guarantees. Paramount, which for its part had no interest in the old negatives of the films it inherited, allowed it to just sit in storage without concern, which absolutely blows my mind. And then, in the late 60s, one small TV station in New York, in search of free Christmas-themed programming, went searching in the dustbin for Christmas-themed old films. And thanks to a forgetful or just careless person, the requisite copyright renewal paperwork was not filed. So that local station, like many others across the country who were always in search of content, saw this and believed it meant free content for them. So a few days before Christmas in 1969, that local New York station played It's a Wonderful Life. And it was a hit that became a tradition, and soon other channels took notice and followed suit. And pardon the pun, but it just snowballed into a Christmas tradition from there. Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed, and Frank Capra all lived long enough to see the film get the recognition that I think it really deserved. A fun little behind-the-scenes story from the film that I've read many times, but I wasn't sure if it was true. But Mary Owen herself verified to me that it was, in fact, true. She said, "My mother had a very strong softball arm, so when it came time to throw the rock at the Granville house in the film, they had hired a stunt person. But then my mother stepped in and said, no, that won't be necessary, and she threw it and broke the glass on the first try." We're now making our way over to the McHenry Museum, which is where her Oscar is at. And I'm pretty excited to see it.
Hello, I'm Kelly.
By the time From Here to Eternity came along, she was hungry for the part. Mainly because she was just over the ingenue, goody-goody roles that she had been typecast into. She fought for the role. The director didn't want her, but he also didn't want Sinatra, and the studio didn't want to let her do it because it was so against her type.
I work here, you know, after all. Can't you understand?
Yes, I do.
She subjected herself to multiple screen tests before winning the role.
The winner is Donna Reed.
The Oscar did little, though, in the way of bringing her parts that she really longed to play.
Even more wonderful is from eternity to here. Thank you.
Here we have Donna Reed's Academy Award from 1953. Fun old Hollywood context to note here. She received this Best Supporting Actress award for the same film that Frank Sinatra received his Best Supporting Actor Oscar, and that role as Private Maggio and From Here to Eternity, and then winning the Oscar, is what really bounced back, revitalized his failing career at the time. Just a little historical context. Being a lover of 1950s fashion, I had to ask Mary Owen if she knew anything about her mother's dress that she wore to the Academy Awards. She said, sadly, she does not, but I'm going to make it my mission to figure out some of the history of that dress.
Lorene, sorry.
Oh, stop calling me Lorene. My name's Alma.
Alma.
Yes, Alma Burke.
Alma.
The Donna Reed show is what finally gave her more control over her career. Her and her husband at the time, Tony Owen, decided to take a leap into the early revolution that was television. They created their own production company, and under that, The Donna Reed Show. It ran for 8 seasons, and it gave her more creative control and satisfaction in her career than what she had been able to do to date. The caretakers informed me they have a quilted blanket that was done by Donna's grandmother, which was willed to her sister and now donated to the museum. That's really neat. All right, we're at Oakland Cemetery, and with the help of the caretakers of the McHenry House, they informed me that Donna Reed has a headstone here. However, if you've seen one of my other cemetery videos, you'll know that Donna Reed is buried at Pierce Brothers Westwood Memorial Park in Los Angeles. However, out here in Denison, Iowa, in her hometown, they wanted her to also have a headstone. So here it is. It says Donna Mullenger, Asmus, Mullenger for her actual birth name and Asmus for her husband, Grover Asmus, 1921 to 1986. But actually, buried here are her parents. It's a little hard to see there, but it says Hazel Jane, 1899 to 1975, William R., 1893 to 1981. This medal right here is for her father, who was a World War I veteran. All right, that does it for today's video. Thank you so much for coming along with me and walking in the footsteps of Donna Reed here in her hometown of Denison, Iowa. Until the next video, I am wishing you a super swell day, and I'll see you then. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and be sure to check out my Patreon for exclusive extras from this video, including an extended rough cut.